What's going on? This video is how I went from being enlisted to becoming an officer in the U.S. Air Force. I came in enlisted, went to basic training, then I got to my first base. I was at Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. It just so happens that that's where Officer Training School is, also known as OTS. I didn't know the difference between enlisted and officer, but I said I wanted to do what they do. Once I learned a little bit more, of course. So I wanted to become an officer. I was enlisted. I was working on my bachelor's degree, so that's the first thing. Work on your bachelor's degree and find out through the education office on base what the requirements are. That's going to be the best source of information. Education office at the base. Ask them how often the boards for applicants are from enlisted to officer. What requirements are. I can tell you it's going to be your bachelor's degree. The good news is if you're within 1 year of completing your bachelor's degree, at least when I went through, you can apply for Officer Training School, OTS. That's one route. And they'll tell you what your major is. They'll ask you what your major is. You can tell them all that information. The next thing is a test. It's called AFOQT, Air Force Officer Qualifying Test. It's a difficult test, but think of it as a challenge. They want to see how you do in 6 different areas. I believe it's 6 different areas, and everything is timed. I'll tell you right now, I didn't do too good on that test. You can take it twice. AFOQT, Air Force, look that up. It'll give you more information on that. There's practice tests. There's a book that you can get. I happen to struggle on that, but I know friends of mine who had no problem with that test. That was a challenge for me, and because of that, I went in front of, my records went in front of OTS selection board to see if I would be selected, and twice I got denied. So that didn't happen. Don't let that deter you, because if you really want to become an officer, ask the education center what you have to be doing. Think of the whole person concept. What that means is, do you volunteer? How are you doing in your job? Are you going to get your CCAF degree? That's your associate's degree through the Community College of the Air Force. A technical degree. Get that. It's going to look good. Do you have any quarterly award winners? Are you a quarterly award winner or an annual award winner? Things like that. Do you volunteer? Do you stand out at your job? Your EPR, Enlisted Performance Report, has to be excellent. And it has to be that you're doing this. You volunteered, you clept the course, you took a college credit, did you get below the zone, all these things. I didn't get below the zone, so it's not a showstopper. But here's the thing, if you want to go from enlisted to officer, you have to be solid, and your leadership has to support you as well, to begin with your squadron commander, your wing commander, and then the board will see that. The best source is the education center. Ask them what the requirements are, when are the boards. In the past, they used to be every 6 weeks, but with the Air Force and all the changes, they may have it twice a year or once a year. I don't know, but you have to ask the education center. They'll give you the best, the latest and greatest information. So my package went for the OTS selection board, was not selected. Finished my bachelor's degree. Started working on my master's. I applied for ROTC, Reserve Officer Training School, ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps. And I got selected. So I had to separate from active duty, which means my paycheck stopped, and work on my master's degree and go to field training. Field training for me was right back at Lackland Air Force Base. Kind of like basic training, but a lot different. The TIs, you don't really deal with them too much, but you're going to be put in a leadership position, and you better be ready, because everybody will. Think of basic training. When I went through basic training, I avoided reporting into the snake pit. I was just lucky. Not in field training. Everybody has 2 or 3 days of leadership. Whether you want to do it or not, hey, but it's not that bad. It's good. So I went through ROTC, and then I got my commission. I came right back active duty into the Air Force, back to the same career field. The Air Force is a great opportunity. The other option is the U.S. Air Force Academy if you're below the age of 21. I actually live in Colorado Springs. Air Force Academy is maybe 15 miles from where I live right now. Beautiful school, campus. You get a great education, and you get a job as a officer afterwards. So look at the three options that you have: OTS, ROTC, Air Force Academy if you're below 21 years of age. Feel free to contact me with any questions, but I'll tell you what, Education Center, very important. AFOQT test, very important. And of course your bachelor's degree. What kind of bachelor's degree are you going to get? Find out what the Air Force needs are and what could improve your selection for getting into OTS, which is at Maxwell Air Force Base. I think it's 8 weeks or 10 weeks. It used to be 12, but that's an option. And I'll leave you with this. I always wanted to become an officer, but if the Air Force would have said, nope, you're not going to, I would have stayed enlisted, because in my opinion, the Air Force is the best team that I've ever been a part of. Now, because of that, I am a reservist in the Air Force now. I work for the Air Force as a civilian. I'm a financial counselor. I have another YouTube channel. I want you to check it out if you want to. It deals with finances, nothing but finances. It's called Your Military Money. I'll put a link on a pop-up that says Your Military Money. It deals with nothing about finances. That's what I do Monday through Friday. Check that out if you can. If you have any questions, contact me. Go Air Force.